What's up, NASCAR Authentics fans? David Land here, and welcome to the Lionel era of NASCAR Authentics. Yes, as we saw a month ago, I made a video about it. Lionel has taken over the NASCAR Diecast retail market. This was rumored for a while, but the real shock and the real surprise is the fact that they took over the NASCAR Authentics branding from Spin Master. So essentially we've got a continuation of the NASCAR Authentics line with Lionel bodied and created cars, and we will do a full, very detailed comparison of all the changes and what to expect going forward with Lionel taking over the NASCAR Authentics brand. If you guys do like this video and want me to continue doing these highly detailed reviews you guys seem to love so much, be sure to hit the like button on the Wave 3 Spin Master NASCAR Authentics review. We hit our like goal of 300 likes. Let's see if we can match that today by hitting the like button, and let's see if we can get to 300 likes. I think the Wave 3 video is like 365 likes or something like that, so you guys very clearly can hit 300, and I hope it will get there. And I really appreciate all the viewership. It's been tough for me to get this video out because I've just had about everything possibly go wrong. I have a bit of a cold too to make matters worse, but we're going to get it going. 2016, the first video on my channel of 2016, the Lionel NASCAR Authentics. Let's see what's in store. So right off the bat, the biggest and most obvious difference between the new NASCAR Authentics line and the old one is the packaging. As you can see, quite a bit different in terms of the approach that Lionel has taken versus Spin Master. As you can see, segments are gone, replaced by a wave designation, Wave 1, as you can see. That's a good thing that I like that they've done. It's going to make it a little bit easier on just like the average Joe Schmo who doesn't watch my videos to know exactly what wave the car is from that's on the shelf. As you can see, as we go further down the package, they've gotten rid of the driver photo, which frankly I don't think is a very good idea. I'm not a big fan of like the generic, like some people have been calling this like a NASCAR 15 thing. Yeah, I don't know about that. And also I'm not a big fan of like the big name. While I think it's good that the driver name is prominent on the package, it looks a bit clip art-y to me, and it's kind of hard to read from a distance. It's actually showing up better on the camera than it is in real life. And then you go down to the rest of the package, and you can see that obviously Spin Master and Lionel took different approaches in terms of what they wanted to pack with the diecast. You can see that you get this hood with your diecast car. That hood, I think, is a magnet, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll make sure when we take it out of the package. And with the Spin Masters, you got a collector box, which, as you can see behind, makes a great display item, and you can store your diecast in it. So, to me, I prefer what Spin Master was, the direction Spin Master went with the packaging and the pack-in item. We'll get to that. But, you know, this is Lionel's first foray into this, so I mean Spin Master's original packaging was not all that great to begin with. As we move on to the back of the package, this is the thing I really do like about the Lionel packaging. Very clearly, the 6 cars in Wave 1, you know exactly what they're going to be, even though that is not included, the Axalta car. It's actually the Homestead Final Race. And then, something I wanted to point out to everybody on the back here, just Ford and GM are represented, and that's on both packages. There's one Ford car in Wave 1, and then General Motors, of course, is Chevrolet, which makes up the majority of the wave. But you notice something that's missing here? Toyota, yep. I don't know if that means Toyota is not going to show up in this retail wave, or retail line, I should say. I mean, Spin Master had a hard time bringing Toyotas to the retail line, so I don't know if Lionel's going to do it. So we may just be seeing Hendrick cars and Stewart-Hass cars for the foreseeable future, unfortunately, at least the majority of the cars. Obviously, you guys are all going to say, well, it's reminiscent of the winner's circle cars to do the packaging this way. And you know, it was interesting because like when winner's circle was really big, I was not into NASCAR diecast. Like I was kind of like, you know, Spin Master kind of got me back into collecting NASCAR diecast, and I couldn't really be bothered with the winner's circle stuff. So you guys may have more nostalgia for this kind of stuff than I do. Personally, I kind of grew up on like Racing Champions and Hot Wheels, those versions of the NASCAR diecast. So let's get out the first car. As you can see, it is the Dewshine Dale Jr. 88 Chevy, and let's take a look at it. First one out of the package. So here we are, the first car that I will be reviewing from the first wave of the Lionel NASCAR Authentics. This is the Dewshine Earnhardt Jr. car. As you can tell, it is very green and brown. I'm not sure why they chose this car to go in the first wave. Just because I didn't think it was all that popular. I mean, I know Dale Jr. cars sell and sell very well, but at the same time, I kind of question the logic of putting this car in the first wave. But, you know, again, I have a hard time faulting Lionel because, again, Dale Jr. cars usually sell out. But I don't remember anything too memorable about this scheme. In fact, I don't even remember what race it specifically was in. I think it may have been Bristol, the spring race, but you guys will have to let me know in the comments because I don't remember which race this car was in. There was also a controversy, like mothers against something or other were like mad because it was like Dewshine sounds like moonshine or something like that. But anyway, here is the hood you get in the package. It's a plastic hood, and it's essentially, you know, the same as the diecast. But I was wrong. I thought it was a magnet. It's not. It's just a plastic hood. But you do get a printed NASCAR Authentics logo there. But that's it. It's just a plastic hood. So whatever y'all do with those, you do with them. Let's take a quick look. Now, the eagle-eyed viewers will have already recognized that this is a completely different diecast than what NASCAR Authentics fans are used to. But for those of you who are uninitiated in kind of the way Lionel does things versus the way Spin Master does things, I've got the Diet Mountain Dew car that came out just recently in Wave 3 of the Spin Master NASCAR Authentics for 2015. And if that's not a mouthful enough, you can check out a full comparison of Lionel versus Spin Master that I did last summer. That's a hugely detailed video, so I'm just going to go over the basics here. But basically, you've got a completely different mold. As you can see, just a little bit, the mold for Spin Master and Lionel is just a little bit different. The tires are thicker on the Spin Master cars, and they're thinner on the Lionel cars. Also, the body seems to be just a bit wider on the Spin Master version. So you are getting a different diecast now than you previously were getting. And Lionel fans will know this as the EL mold. You can tell an EL mold car by the wheels. The wheels are usually smaller and don't have the like a really gigantic, goofy looking Goodyears on them. It seems as though they've chosen to go with the EL mold as kind of their go-to mold, especially for this retail line. But here's a kind of non-retail, major retail version, I should say. These are the kind of diecast you get on like online or through Lionel themselves. The big difference between this car and this car, they're both EL mold Chevrolets, but if you can tell, on the retail line, they have put a white interior. On the not retail line, you get a black interior. So if that bothers you, you may have to just buy online and find the regular Lionel releases that they put out at the track. But if it doesn't bother you, you can get these cars at your Toys R Us, Walmart, or Target. However, they only seem to be hitting at Target right now. I paid $5.99 for the Wave, so just a heads up there, you want to be looking at Target. So now, on to the next car in the Wave. So, the second car we'll be taking a look at is the Tony Stewart Darlington Throwback car. And if there was a theme for this Wave, it would definitely be Darlington Throwback cars. There are 3 of them in the Wave, and one of the other cars in the Wave is a throwback to another car that raced. We'll get to that when we get to that. But as a Darlington Throwback car, it's good to get them, I will say that. However, I think this is the weakest choice of car for the Wave. To me, this is not a very inspired paint scheme, but we're going to take a look at it and see if I think any higher of it when we get it out of the box. So let's go! And let's go in for a close-up. So to me, the NASCAR Darlington Throwback race was one of the most interesting and creative things NASCAR has done in quite a while. It was a lot of fun to see all the throwback paint schemes, a lot of really great paint schemes such as Trevor Bayne's Mark Martin throwback and Dale Jr.'s Neil Bonnet throwback. Really, really cool event. However, there were some duds, particularly from Stewart-Hass Racing. I don't think they had one good throwback, to be honest with you, and this is no exception. I don't think it's really throwing back to anything other than, like, look, it's the old Bass Pro Shops logo. So to me, not a big fan of the paint scheme. However, it's nice to see this represented in diecast form, but it's a little bit confusing as to why Lionel went with this paint scheme. Again, I'm kind of like in the category of like the Dewshine cars. Like, what was the thought process here? Because this car was already, I believe it was already released through Lionel, their regular line. So why they decided to release it in a retail line is kind of beyond me. But it is great to get cars with these retro white Goodyear throwback tires. Very interesting and very cool. It's just neat to see kind of the history of the sport be shown in modern days. It's really cool. And there's a good look at the quote-unquote throwback Bass Pro Shops, even though they went with the modern logo on the side of the car. Do like the sparkly silver paint. Maybe that's why they went with the sparkly silver paint, because it would be easy to do with the other car that is sparkly in silver, the Jeff Gordon car. But yeah, pretty nice looking car. Nothing too much to write home about. Again, I'm not a big fan of the paint scheme, especially because considering I guess, the 51 car ran an AJ Foyt. I was going to say that Tony probably should have run an AJ Foyt throwback paint scheme, but there was already one in the race. Let's take a quick look at this, which you get a Darlington Raceway 14 with Tony Stewart's name on there. And this is a magnet. So this has a little bit more value to me, I guess. You can put it on the fridge. Again, I like things that supplement the diecast, and this is just something, I know I'm in the minority on this, so don't hate on me too much in the comments, but stuff like this and the hood, it does really nothing for me. I kind of wish we get something that kind of supplements the diecast a little bit more. That's kind of why I like the collector's boxes, but, whatever. I'm sure you guys like the magnets and the hoods, and it's another thing to collect. So if you guys are into that, Great. And let's go on to the next car on the wave. And this is something really cool and really neat that Lionel is capable of doing. I think you guys are really going to like it. So, during the Spin Master days of NASCAR Authentics, folks will probably remember the Race Winners segment. We got some interesting diecast through the Race Winners segment, probably the best being A.J. Allmendinger's Watkins Glen winner. However, we never got raced versions of those Race Winners segment cars. That has changed now. Lionel has introduced raced versions of these diecasts to the retail line, and they decided to start out with the May Talledega winner, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and you can see him there with his Lionel 124 diecast. This is a new thing for me. I've never reviewed a raced version of a diecast before. Nothing else to cover on the back of the box. So it's going to be interesting to see what's different or what has changed between the raced version and a regular version of the diecast. So let's take it out. And it is nice to see that they went with a fairly easy package to open versus like what Spin Master tried with their very first couple of waves. So let's take a close look at this diecast and see what my thoughts are. I am always a little bit confused when retailer, or specifically I guess Lionel, because they're the only ones who really do it, decide to do raced versions of a plate track car. Because usually there's not all that much battle damage on a winning plate track car. Generally, aerodynamics are the key to super speedway racing. So you're not going to see a whole lot of beaten and banged cars winning at, say, Talledega or Daytona. However, there is some raced detail on this car. It's pretty subtle, so we'll have to go in for close-ups on some of the stuff on this car. But I will say they did a great job of detailing this car, and really, this is kind of cool to get in a retail line, a car specifically a race winner with all of like the detail on it. That's pretty cool, and that's something that we never got with Spin Master. It's great to see a Lionel bring this into the fold. So let's take a look. Obviously, the obvious thing to everybody is going to be the confetti, blue and white, just like the car, so it works. And that's all the way down this car. You have some marking on the hood there, or the hood, the what is this called? The trunk, I guess. There's a little bit of an oil splatter here on the back, kind of hard to see, but you can see it just a little bit. This is kind of where the most detail is. It seems like Dale Jr. got a little bit of a donut there, ran into somebody at some point. There's a little bit of detail down here. Not sure what that is. Possibly exhaust burning, because the exhaust would come out, and when he's upshifting or downshifting, it would backfire, and it would get that really hot. You can see some more little bits of damage and little bits of chipping, but they actually, unlike criticisms of like chips in like, oh yeah, the diecast, the chips, it's actually supposed to be chipped. And then you've got some grime on the front here where the white is. That's where it's most apparent. But obviously, super speedway racing, you're going to get a lot of dirt and rubber buildup as you are flying at 200 miles an hour down the straightaway. Really nice car. I definitely like this paint scheme a lot, even though I don't think the May Talladega race was all that memorable. I certainly don't remember it because I wasn't watching it. I was at Indianapolis for 500 practice. You do get this this trading card, so they're switching it up. We've shown you all the pack-ins, I think, with these cars, and there is some details on the back here. The date, the time of the race, start position, the total laps, number of cautions, number of leaders, laps led by Dale Jr., the margin of victory, and the driver's career wins. So that's actually kind of cool. a trading card. I'm not sure how many trading cards we're actually going to get through this line, but yeah. So in the Lionel NASCAR Authentics, you can get a trading card, a hood, or a magnet. All these possibilities. But really, a very cool diecast, and if you're a Dale Jr. fan, this is probably a must-have. So on to the next diecast in the wave. Remember all those people who were talking about how there were going to be no more Jeff Gordon diecasts? No, really. We're going to get Jeff Gordon diecast till the day we die, I'm sure. You know what? He's such a marketable driver, and despite the fact that he retired at the end of 2015, he is still going to sell diecast. Sell diecast. And this is a pretty good choice for Lionel to put in the first wave of 2016. Of course, this is the last ride car for Jeff Gordon. Obviously still inaccurate, along with the their first release of this, which was in their kind of online and local diecast dealer wave. Obviously not the Chase banner, but a good release because it is the same. So apparently some people had some hard time tracking this down, so let's take a look at it out of the box, shall we? Boy, those hoods, just they like to come out of there. And the diecast likes to come out of there. So let's go in for a close-up on Jeff's car. So here is the Axalta 24 for Jeff Gordon. This car is actually another throwback car, but this is throwing it back to DuPont's last win with Jeff Gordon, which took place at, I think, Homestead 2010. Don't quote me on that, but I think that was like DuPont had a promotion where they did a silver car and was like, this is our last race with Jeff. And he actually won the race. I think that's how it happened. I don't remember. But this is what it's throwing back to. So a nice paint scheme. Not quite as nice as the Rainbow Warriors car, which we are getting in Wave 2, by the way, of Lionel Authentics. Yeah. Nice paint scheme, again. It's got that silvery paint that we saw on the Tony Stewart car. Let's take a quick look at the hood before we go into a close-up view of it. You've got the driver's signature on there, which is not on the car. So nice artistic license, I guess, there. And again, we've got NASCAR Authentics printed on the bottom of the hood. So not much to write home about there. Let's take a close look at the diecast and some of the detail on it. As you can see, the nice silvery metal flake paint. Axalta logo, 3M. A little bit crooked on that 3M there. I'm not sure if that's the way it's supposed to be. That's a bit of a nitpick. Let's see what this says. Congratulations, Jeff, from the 12,500 Axalta employees around the world. So that's a nice little tribute from a sponsor, such a long-time sponsor like Axalta. They go on to Dale Jr. next year. They decided not to stick with the 24 car. They decided to go with the much more marketable driver of Dale Jr. I can't say I blame them. So, let's go on to the next car in the wave, and probably my personal favorite choice by Lionel. Boy, oh boy, we waited and waited and waited for Spin Master to do an STP car. They never got around to doing it, and Lionel, the very first wave, gives us an STP car. So my hat's off to you, STP. Well, I guess STP had a little bit of something to do with it, but my hat's off to you, Lionel, specifically, for finally getting this car to retail, and it's a beauty. This is another Darlington throwback of Aric Almirola's STP car for Richard Petty Motorsports. Again, this is one I was really excited about, and I'm sure a lot of other people are excited about. I love the Fords. I love the STP colors. It's pretty much a perfect diecast in terms of exactly what I like to buy. And it's a throwback. I mean, it hits all the check marks. So let's take a look at Aric's car. I'm too excited just to keep talking about car is still in its box. So let's free it from its cardboard prison and take a look at it. Oh, what a beauty. What a beauty. And let's take a closer look. Wow. What a great looking ride. Probably one of the better throwback schemes out there. Again, like I mentioned, the Trevor Bayne and the Dale Jr are probably my favorites. But if I had to pick a number 3, this would probably be it. Just the perfect color scheme. I mean, you don't get much better than STP or more iconic. I mean, maybe you could say like the Gulf Racing colors, or possibly if we go to more of a modern connotation, we could say the Red Bull Racing colors. But really, STP, man oh man. You've got the Day Glow Orange, which was a staple of Andy Granatelli, who used to own STP, along with the Petty Blue from Richard Petty, who really was the guy who kind of made STP famous in racing. Just a great combination, and I love the Ford bodies, and particularly from Lionel. They nail the Ford Fusion look perfectly. In fact, this was one of the things I always complained about Spin Master, was their Fords were not quite on par with Lionel's. Here is the Darlington Throwback Magnet, and I have to say this is probably my favorite of the magnets they did. The colors are just right. It gives you that real throwback feel, particularly with the red behind the 43, or the orange, I guess you could say. Just a great looking magnet, I would say. This is definitely one I'd put on my fridge. So taking a closer look at the diecast real fast and comparing it to the Spin Master version of the Ford, you can kind of clearly tell that Spin Master kind of missed the boat on the Ford. I'm not really sure why they went with like the slanted, the slope, the really dramatic slope on the Gen 6 car that's really not there, as you can kind of tell. See, the slope on the cockpit area here is much less so on the Lionel version. Kind of a strange decision from Spin Master, but I'm actually really glad, and this is one of the things I really am happy that Lionel took over, is that we get their Ford Fusion bodies in the retail line. Just a fantastic piece. The Racer's Edge, which used to be the tagline of STP, and they've kind of they've brought it back from time to time. Just fantastic. Just really great. Got a little bit of a blemish there on the 43. Of course, your results may vary what your car ends up looking like, but I haven't found any major errors on any of these cars yet, so that's a good thing. Really cool to see the 426 CI on there. That's very, very throwback-ish. So just a fantastic diecast. Definitely, probably my favorite from the wave. And definitely worth the price of admission. And now let's go on to the last car on the wave, and probably the most important one. This is perhaps the biggest and most promising part of the Lionel NASCAR Authentics line. This is the Austin Dillon Darlington Raceway throwback scheme. And you may be wondering why I'm saying that it's so important and promising to see this car in the NASCAR Authentics line. Well, here's the thing. This car was not going to be produced in at all for diecast wise. Lionel does pre-orders. They base the cars they produce, at least for the local diecast and track and online stuff that they do. They base what they produce on how many people pre-order cars, and if there are not enough pre-orders, they don't produce a car. This car did not make the minimum amount of pre-orders when they tried to make it for their distribution. That's in the non-retail, like non-Walmart, Target, all that stuff. It didn't make it. However, when the first wave came out, this car was included. So it opens up the possibility that we can see cars that a lot of fans wanted to see, and for whatever reason the cars did not get produced. So you know, this may be the start of a really, really good thing, and for all NASCAR collectors, not just the ones who like to collect NASCAR Authentics or just the retail lines. The people who missed out, you know, the Austin Dillon fans who really wanted the Darlington Raceway throwback, they got it. I mean, and I'm so hoping that they that they decide to do Trevor Bayne's throwback car. That would be amazing. And Lionel, if you're watching this, please do Trevor Bayne's throwback car in this segment, because I would absolutely love it. So let's take a look at Austin Dillon's number 3 throwback E15 car. And let's hope we get the magnet out and try not to lose the car, and we didn't. So let's take a closer look at this American Ethanol car. So like I said, obviously a lot of potential for great things with this car being canceled and then coming back to life through Lionel NASCAR Authentics. This is the kind of stuff that I want to buy. This is the kind of stuff I'd love to see in a retail wave. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to all be like canceled diecast. I think we do need the just the regular Dale Jr. schemes and the regular Jimmy Johnson schemes. However, if you can sneak in Darlington throwback cars that got canceled, absolutely put them in. No doubt in my mind. Because a lot of people were disappointed that they wouldn't be able to get a full set of the Darlington throwback cars that raced at Darlington. And if we can get them, you know, if Lionel can put these in the retail line and help people get a complete set, that is awesome. And that is something I'm definitely getting behind in terms of the potential for this Lionel NASCAR Authentics line. It's definitely something that excites me as a collector, and I'm sure it excites not only the people who are interested in NASCAR Authentics now, but the people who are just like the regular diecast collectors out there. So let's take a quick look at the magnet that comes with it. You know, just orange and blue. Definitely, I think the Almorola one's the best of the magnets for the Darlington Raceway ones. But if you end up with all the Darlington, however many Darlington throwback magnets they make, it may look really cool on your shelf. Now, NASCAR Authentic fans are probably familiar with this paint scheme because we've actually gotten it before in the NASCAR Authentics line. This is the Richard Childress car from 1978. I think this was a Monte Carlo, if I am not mistaken, but I can't remember specifically. We got this car in 2014, but as you can see, the similarities are evident between the two cars. Right down to the white walled Goodyear tires, and really cool. And I think CRC, don't they sponsor Austin Dillon at some races, or is that Dow? It might be Dow Chemicals. But CRC, I know, has been in racing for quite a while. So anyway, it's interesting to see kind of like a chemical company with this paint scheme, and then American Ethanol with that paint scheme. But this was something really cool, and I hope that's something Lionel will continue to do. A few throwback cars. That was one of the really great things, or not throwback cars, but actually historical cars. That was one of the greatest things about the Spin Master NASCAR Authentics line that I really appreciated, was getting some of the classic cars. I think this is a pretty decent paint scheme. Again, it's not really the most flashy. It's certainly not the STP throwback car. However, it's pretty good, and for Austin Dillon fans and the throwback fans, everybody's going to be searching for this one because it hasn't been available anywhere else. It's an exclusive to the NASCAR Authentics line, so really, really neat. So let's take a close look at the whole wave together, and I'll give some final thoughts. So, what did you guys think of Lionel's first attempt at NASCAR Authentics, their first wave. Did you like it? Did you think it was a bit disappointing? Be sure to let me know in the comments. I love reading the discussions that you guys have. I would definitely say for a first wave, it's you know, for a first attempt, I'll say it's a pretty good selection of cars. I think it's a little too heavy on the Hendrick, Dale Jr., Stewart-Hass thing. This was something that Spin Master ran into. I'm hoping to see that change. I'm also kind of a little bit worried about the amount of throwbacks we're seeing. I'm hoping that, like I said, I like the throwbacks, but if they're starting to take the place of 2016 cars that we could be getting in the retail line, that's going to concern me a little bit moving forward. But again, these are just kind of speculative things, and they're not set in stone. I know we have Wave 2, and I think it's a little bit more of the same. So hopefully by Wave 3, we'll start getting 2016 cards. Be sure to check out the Spin Master Send-Off. I will be reviewing Wave 4, the final wave of the Spin Master NASCAR Authentics. That should be out on my channel very soon. And I will be reviewing the 2 Memorable Moments 2-packs that I did not have until now, which are the Auto Club memorable moments from 2013, and the Bojangles 500 2-pack, again from 2013. So I will be reviewing both of those as my send-off to the Spin Master NASCAR Authentics. Look for that very soon. So I thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're a NASCAR Authentics fan. I'm going to be doing this all year round, I'm sure. It seems as though a new era has started and Lionel's really taken the ball and ran with it. So I'm excited to see what they produce going forward. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.